They thought he was just another pirate, another nameless skeleton lost to the ocean story. But when scientists tested his bones, the truth they uncovered didn't belong to legend. It belonged to history itself. For hundreds of years, pirates were known as ruthless thieves of the sea. They lived fast, died hard, and disappeared without a trace. Yet this time, the sea had kept one of them hidden, perfectly preserved, waiting to speak again through science. In 2018, a team of archaeologists found human remains near the coast of Madagascar, close to where a famous pirate ship once sank. Locals called the place the Cursed Shore. At first, it seemed like another discovery, a nameless sailor from a forgotten wreck. But when DNA testing began, everything changed. The results showed something no one expected. This pirate's bloodline was mixed, part European, part African, a combination that told a story never written in the history books. He was a man who crossed worlds, who defied the order of his time, and somehow became part of one of the most feared pirate crews to ever sail. His bones carried secrets of identity, loyalty, and betrayal, secrets that had been buried for centuries beneath the waves. Now, they were finally revealing who he truly was, and how his life could change everything we thought we knew about pirates. I remember that coast, the kind men feared to sail near. Madagascar, they called it. But to us pirates, it was the edge of the world. That's where they found him, the man whose bones still whisper secrets through time. You see, not all pirates were born of Europe's harbors. Some came from far-off lands, chained in the belly of ships they did not own. Others fled kings, wars, or hunger, and the sea became their only home. That's the truth no history book cared to write. The skeleton they found near that cursed shore, it belonged to someone who lived both worlds. A man who might have fought under the black flag, but never truly belonged to any flag at all. His ship was said to be Adventure Galley, captained by the infamous William Kidd, though the sea hides names better than any grave. When the scientists tested the bones, they expected a simple answer, a sailor, perhaps a thief. But the blood told a deeper tale. European lineage, yes, but the rest came from African roots. Two worlds that weren't meant to meet in those days. Yet here they were, joined by salt and steel. To us pirates, blood never mattered. Only courage did. If a man could swing a sword and face the storm, he was one of us. But to kings and merchants, a man like him was a problem, a shadow in history best forgotten. And now, centuries later, his bones are forcing the world to remember. Maybe he wasn't just another pirate. Maybe he was the bridge between the men who ruled the seas and those who were never meant to sail them. I've seen many men come and go upon the waves, but few left behind bones that could still speak after centuries of silence. When they found him near that cursed coast, they thought he was just another soul lost to the tide. But the sea, she remembers everything. The bones told tales no logbook ever dared to write. A deep cut on the rib from a sword, maybe a mutiny. Teeth ground down from biting rope in storm and battle. He lived as we all did, rough, hungry, and half-mad from salt and rum. But his blood, that was the real treasure. It wasn't the blood of one nation. It carried two worlds within it, Europe and Africa, tied together by wind and war. The kind of man who'd never belong on land, but who found his home where the law could not reach. To the kings, he was a criminal. To us, he was a brother. On our ships, color mattered less than courage. A man's worth was proven by how he faced the storm, not where he was born. Some of us were runaway slaves, others outcast sailors, a few born of noble blood. But once that black flag rose, we were all the same. I reckon he sailed with one of those crews that made their own rules, no masters, no crowns, only the code. Maybe he died fighting for it. Or maybe he chose the sea over surrender. The bones can't say for sure, but I can tell you this, his story ain't one of gold and glory. It's one of freedom bought with blood. And though his ship is gone, his tale still rides the wind. A whisper for those who dare to live unbound. Tell me, mate, what do you make of it? A man of two worlds, buried where no map dares to point. Bones whispering stories the world tried to forget. Do you think he was a hero or a villain born of the storm? I've heard the sea's truth in 100 tongues. Some say he was part of Captain Kidd's cursed crew. the one that mutinied and vanished into the deep. Others claim he was a slave turned pirate, fighting not for gold, but for the right to breathe free air. Maybe both tales hold a grain o' salt. Look close at the bones, the cuts, the scars, the marks of chains long rusted away. He'd seen battles men wouldn't live to tell. He'd faced the crown's ships and the wrath of the ocean. But tell me, what drives a man to take up the black flag? Greed? Freedom? Or something darker? A thirst the sea herself can't quench? I reckon every man who sails thinks he's different. Yet the sea makes us all the same in the end. Salt in the blood, wind in the soul, and death waitin' somewhere beyond the horizon. But this pirate's tale ain't done yet. His blood still tells its story, in the labs, in the whispers, in the bones that won't stay silent. So what say ye? If ye stood on that cursed shore and looked upon those remains, what would ye see? A monster carved by history, or a man who refused to kneel? Drop your thoughts in the ship's log below, and let the world hear your reckoning. For every tale worth tellin' needs a crew to keep it alive. Strange thing, time. It buries men, but never their truths. The sea may swallow bones, sink ships, and wash away names from stone, but she never forgets. That man, the one whose blood crossed oceans, he weren't just a pirate. He was a mirror showing us what the world once was, and maybe what it still is. A world divided by crowns and borders, yet bound together by the same tide. The scientists may hold his bones, but I reckon his soul still drifts out there, somewhere between wind and wave. Every creak of an old hull, every whisper of the tide on the shore, that's him speaking, reminding us that freedom always carries a price. You've heard his tale now, the man who lived by no flag and died by none. A ghost born of two worlds, whose story the sea refused to bury. But tell me, mate, how many more lie beneath, waiting for someone to listen? How many secrets sleep in the deep, hiding behind coral and silence? If you've got the heart for it, stay aboard. There are more tales yet, bones yet to speak, wrecks yet to be found. The sea holds her stories close, but she gives to those who ask the right way. So keep your compass steady and your mind open. The next tide might bring another secret to shore. And when it does, you'll hear me voice again, riding the wind, telling tales the world forgot. Until then, remember this: gold fades, ships rot, but truth always floats.